So I have a question. And when I do my uploads, it's kind of like my little diary. It's my journals of how I'm feeling. So I don't have a lot of research on the things I say because a lot of things I say come from my experience. A lot of things I actually see in the spiritual world, and I might hear somebody else confirm the things I've been seeing. But most of the stuff I see in the spiritual world, I try not to get into, even though I have stuff to read, I try not to get too much into trusting other people unless I just see for myself, unless they have some kind of way I can practice it or apply it to my own life to see if it works for me. It's hard for me to just take in everything that comes from somebody else's mind, So a lot of things I say on this channel, most of it comes from my personal experience, and I just feel like discussing it like it's a diary or a journal. Only difference is I'm not writing it down, I'm just like uploading it. But I want to talk about, has being positive ever ended suffering? And what does it mean to be positive? I don't know, because see, the thing is, what does it really mean to be positive? Because sweeping something under the rug that you know is a huge problem, that you know is a cancer, and I'm talking about anything that's a cancer. I don't really have anything in particular that I'm talking about. It's just anything in your life, anything or the stuff that we perceive our current events. That we perceive our current events, and I say perceive because all this stuff already happened in the spiritual world, and it's already slowed down in time. What we see now could have already happened about 10, 20 years ago. That's why I say we perceive the current events we perceive. Everybody don't have the same perception. But a lot of people in the United States are going to have the same perception when it comes to like just current events, not your personal life, just current events. But anyway, what has being positive ever ended suffering, and what does it mean to be positive? I think what the problem with being positive is I don't think people have the definition right. I don't think being positive is wrong. I think the definition is not right. The same thing with forgiveness. For the longest, I had a problem with forgiveness because it just was not explained right. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person, but also it helps you because forgiveness is about understanding everything that happened. Because what happened is what it is however bad it is, unfortunately, because some things are so awful it's hard to just get over. And it's not about getting over it either. It's about forgiveness. Now, I'm going to tell you what that's about too, and I'm going to get back to this positivity because that's what this was supposed to be about. But forgiveness is about understanding why things have happened. What were you supposed to get out of it? I mean, because if you weren't supposed to get anything out of it, then it just ain't happened for no reason. It happened for no doggone reason. So forgiveness is about understanding what you were supposed to get from the information, or how you were enlightened, what happened to help you grow. Forgiveness from the situation so you won't repeat whatever patterns that's going on, even if you are not actively doing anything to cause those patterns still kind of come, even though you don't see where you're actively doing anything. They might still come, or events might still come. So it's like understanding what's that about, so you can keep that little cycle. You can end that cycle right there. Or even if it happened one time, it might happen once every 5 years. I mean, cycles don't always happen once a year. It can happen once every 5 years. So it's like forgiveness is like really, and this has been explained a couple of times when I wanted to look up forgiveness, like really understand forgiveness the way it was explained by others, and it made more sense. Because it doesn't make any sense to forgive another person. I can't forgive another person when I don't even know what's in that person. A lot of these people, they not even operating on their own. Like, a lot of people don't even have their own will. A lot of people don't even have their own will. They don't even understand they're under control. So, anyway, that's forgiveness. Really understanding why things happen is for yourself. It's for you. That's why I say forgiveness is for you. But people don't understand. They don't really explain what it means when they say forgiveness is for you. It's really for you to understand why things are happening, or why things might have happened in your life, to make sure that book is closed and it don't happen again. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. because you don't even know nothing about them. You don't know who they are. You could be forgiving doggone what people call demons or low vibrational entities. You could be forgiving low vibrational entities that probably invaded that person or what you call it, influence that person in some kind of way. You don't really know what you're forgiving when you call yourself forgiving somebody else. You don't know what's using their vessel. So forgiving somebody else, that person could have been dead for about 10 years, but their body's still moving around, and you're forgiving a low vibrational spirit that's using that doggone vessel. So, that don't make no sense to be forgiving somebody else. Because you're partnering to have forgiveness for somebody else. You're pardoning their energy to continue to do what it does. So that doesn't make sense. Okay. So no, forgiveness is about it's about what you got out of the experience. Okay. What you learn about learning and understand why things happen to end the cycle. But positivity. Because I think about things going on with me, and I think about other people's lives, and the reason why I got on this positivity is because we all are not going to have the same perception. So because somebody else's life might not be like mine, and when I say like mine, I'm talking about it could be spiritual stuff that's really hard to. I say like this: when you by yourself and you have to constantly figure out the answers. It makes it harder because some situations are so severe that it can be over a lifetime before you get the answer, when you can never really. And people already understand. It's people who already understand the situation, but it's hard to talk to them. And even when you do pay them, I don't think they're very productive. Even when you pay them. That's why I'm like careful on paying folks. I don't know what's wrong with people, why they can't open their mouths. One person finally had the nerve to open their mouth and say what they saw when I talked to them. But other folks don't have the nerve to open their mouth and say what's going on. So I'm not paying nobody for nothing. If you don't have the backbone to open your mouth and say what you see, I understand you're supposed to be protecting folks too. But so nobody should be paying you and you can't even tell them what you really see. Because you feel like it's so terrible that you just can't say it. Well, then nobody should be paying you. Okay, you shouldn't be getting paid. Nobody should be paying you for you to spare somebody's damn feelings. Now, so nobody should be paying you for that. And people need to stop paying folks if they don't want the damn truth either. Okay? But the point I'm saying is that even with the stuff I've dealt with my whole life, I've been pretty positive. I've been a pretty positive person. I've been a pretty giving person. I did not receive what I gave. And although I was being very positive towards other people, I didn't always get that back. So being positive and being positive doesn't always end the suffering. It helps you to have a different attitude during the suffering, but it does not end the suffering. Because if positivity ended suffering, it'll be a lot of people that's not in poverty. There's a lot of people that's in poverty, that's severely impoverished, and a lot of things going on, and they deal with a lot of illness and some physical abuse, and they are positive all the time when you hear them talk. They are so positive, you wouldn't know they would be going through anything. They are so positive. Positivity is not ending their suffering. Oh, let me correct it. The definition that's used for positivity is not ending their suffering. Because positivity doesn't mean passive. Positivity does not mean passive, not to me. Now this is just me and my experience. Because you know what? Here's the thing. Somebody else tell you what positivity really means. It's going to be from whatever society has described it to be. Like if you look at forgiveness right now, it's not going to really say what I just said. Because this is coming from society. A lot of this stuff that we hear about in the definitions, you look at the definition of positivity, it's going to be like a little definition that makes it seem like it's basically an outlook on life, but okay, an outlook on life, but at the same time, you have to see reality for what it is too, and your reality is whatever you're perceiving at that time. So you have to accept that for what it is too. So you don't want to be so positive that you don't accept, you don't want to see reality for what it is either now. Because some people think being positive is not seeing reality. And when I say reality, somebody else's reality is not the same as the other. So when I say reality, I'm talking about what I'm perceiving at the moment. I perceive that I just paid for my car insurance. Okay, that's my perception. Somebody else don't have to pay for their car insurance. Okay, so my point is that reality is really what you're perceiving at that particular time. You know, what you're experiencing at that particular time, and nobody is to really tell you your own experience because the way they want to see it. And then positivity means that, and for me, this is my feeling of positivity. Positivity means that once you see your particular reality for what it is and you accept it for what it is at the moment, if you don't like what you're seeing, you do something to change it for the better. To me, that's being positive. That's positivity to me. See, now I don't have to get mad when it's the saying that be positive. Because be positive don't mean you be passive and let somebody keep kicking your ass. That's not positivity. That don't make no sense. Like those girls that got kidnapped, what was it, in Nigeria? It was a long time ago when Boko Haram kidnapped those Nigerian girls, and I think those girls were getting raped, but they probably kidnapped those girls because they used those African girls for breeding. They used those girls for breeding. Those girls were very positive. They were Christians. They were praying, and I'm not against nobody praying. I don't have nothing to say about people who want to pray or whatever they do or they meditate. I don't have nothing to say about that. My point is they were positive. I don't care who they were praying to. My point I'm saying is they were positive. They were the textbook definition of positive. Well, let me not say the textbook definition. They are positive in the way that society likes to describe. They are positive in a way that society likes to describe. But positivity did not stop them from getting kidnapped by Boko Haram, and this was years ago. Ooh, how long ago was that? That was over 13, 14 years ago. But anyway, that didn't stop them from getting kidnapped by Boko Haram. And I feel like people say, oh, they were getting raped. I don't think nobody just kidnapped a bunch of Nigerian girls just to rape them. I think they're using these girls as for breeding because they're blood. They like their blood. Okay, so they're using it's particular entities that use these ladies for breeding because of their blood, because of their DNA. Now, that's just what I believe. Nobody wants to kidnap a bunch of girls just because they want to rape somebody. They're just going to rape you. Nobody has to kidnap you for that. They'll rape you. And then leave you laying somewhere. They kidnapped those girls and they kept those girls because I just honestly feel like they might have been paid to do it and those girls were used for breeding. Okay? But the point I'm saying is that positivity did not stop those girls from getting kidnapped. Or let me say the positivity in the way that society likes to describe positivity. Because the way the society likes to describe positivity, it really keeps you passive. It keeps you passive. Like the way society tells you to be positive, you sit back and allow shit to happen to you, and you're supposed to have a positive outlook on somebody beating the fuck out of you. Somebody stumping you in the head and kicking you in the chest, and you're supposed to have this positive outlook while they got their fucking foot hitting your damn chest. So the way society is using positivity is it'll make you blow up. It'll make you blow up something. Because you know better. Come on now, you can't be positive if somebody taking something and beating you, or like you going on your job and being harassed every day, or you got wrongfully evicted out your house or apartment and you ain't got a place to sleep and you outside in the cold. That society's definitely will have a positive outlook. No, I don't like the way society uses that word. You have that needs to concern you. It needs to concern you. Positivity is not always about smiling, because a lot of that stuff has a lot to do with joy. But positivity does not have the positivity is not about smiling all the time. Because some people can smile and just as much as they smile, they would bury your ass in the ground just the same way. And somebody who you think is mean and evil, who society likes to call evil, they won't even be as brutal as the person who smiles a lot. So that don't even, you know, But the point I'm making is that I don't think positivity means the way that word is used. It's not really what it means. I think positivity means once you see something for what it is, once you see something, the particular reality that you're perceiving and the particular reality that you're experiencing, not nobody else, what you're experiencing, and you know you want to experience something different, you do something to change it in the way that you want to have it changed. So for you, that would be called for the better, but that's the better for you, right? That's the better for you. And to me, that's positivity. 'Cause, doing something about it, that's positivity. Okay? But anyway, that's all I just felt like saying, and I'll talk later.